Picture this for a second. Data centers glowing in the dark like digital cities, rivers of electricity feeding racks of chips. And above all that, three flags: the United States, China, and, quietly but firmly, Japan. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a new kind of power struggle, not over land or oil, but over artificial intelligence. The headlines focus on the US and China, locked in a race for AI supremacy. But in the background, a country many people underestimate is starting to move: Japan. As always, I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to lay out the facts, the contradictions, the numbers, and then you decide what this AI race really means for our future. Let's start with the basics. AI is no longer just cool apps or chatbots. It's infrastructure. It's money, military power, surveillance, social control, and global influence all packed into code and data. Some analysts already talk about an AI arms race between great powers, especially the US and China, with military planners openly saying that whoever leads in AI could shape the balance of power in the 21st century. And look at where the money is going. By 2030, global data centers are projected to need around $5 to $7 trillion in investment to keep up with demand for computing power, most of it driven by AI workloads. In 2025 alone, the biggest American tech companies, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Amazon, are on track to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on data centers and AI hardware. This isn't just an innovation race, it's a capital war. Whoever can build, power, and control these giant AI factories gains leverage over everything from finance and medicine to propaganda and war. So where do the United States and China stand? On the US side, you have the most powerful commercial AI models in the world, systems like ChatGPT, Gemini, and others that are kept mostly proprietary, sold as services, and trained on massive clusters of GPUs. US companies dominate the AI chip market too. NVIDIA alone controls over 90% of the GPU market for data centers, riding the AI wave to a record-breaking multi-trillion-dollar valuation. The American strategy is clear: stay ahead on the cutting-edge chips, keep the best models in-house, and pour unimaginable amounts of money into infrastructure. Under Trump's AI action plan, the US has doubled down on this. The message is aggressive. AI is treated as a tool for unquestioned technological dominance, with looser regulation and huge investments positioned as a way to block rivals from catching up. Now, look at China. China has its own frontier models and massive investments, but it's taking a different angle that's starting to worry a lot of people in Washington: OpenAI. According to recent analysis, the most powerful OpenAI models, the ones anyone can download, modify, and build on, are now largely coming from Chinese companies like DeepSeek and Qwen, rather than from the US. That might sound technical, but it's actually huge. Open models are like a toolbox for the world. Startups, researchers, even governments with fewer resources can grab these models and build whatever they want: chatbots, industrial systems, surveillance tools, propaganda machines. If Chinese models become the global standard for OpenAI, that means Chinese influence can quietly spread through the software layer of the entire planet. At the same time, Beijing is pushing a strategy called military-civil fusion, where commercial AI tools and military AI developments blur together, feeding each other. The idea is simple: use every part of the economy to accelerate military capabilities with AI. So on one side, you have US proprietary power. On the other, Chinese open-source influence. And stuck in the middle? The rest of the world? Or maybe not so stuck, after all. Because this is where Japan comes in. If you look only at headlines, Japan might seem late to the AI party. It doesn't have a global chatbot brand like ChatGPT, and it's not usually framed as the main rival to Silicon Valley or Beijing. But that's a surface-level view. Dig deeper, and a different picture appears. First, historically, Japan has been a technological heavyweight: robotics, electronics, sensors, automotive, industrial automation. Those are all crucial building blocks for AI systems in the real world, not just on screens, but in factories, hospitals, and cities. Studies of the evolution of AI innovation show that Japan, like the US, has built a rich and complex base of technologies that are closely related to AI. an ecosystem of hardware and know-how that can support advanced AI in the long term. Second, Japan is quietly building its own AI foundation models in Japanese, aimed at making AI that actually understands local culture, language, and values, not just translated English models. Researchers have released large pre-trained models specialized for Japanese, in text, images, and speech, explicitly framed as a way to democratize AI for non-English communities. That may sound niche, but think about it. If the future of AI is not just about raw power, but about trust, culture, and alignment, then models that truly speak your language and reflect your society's norms become strategic assets. Third, Japan is not acting alone. In 2025, the US and Japan signed a technology pact targeting 7 critical fields, including AI, to counter China's influence. This pact is about sharing research, coordinating standards, and building resilient supply chains in chips and advanced tech. So while the media often frames things as US versus China, Japan is positioning itself as a key partner in the Western tech bloc, with its own strengths, precise engineering, robotics, and culturally aligned AI. That's why commentators in Japan talk about AI supremacy in an interesting way. Yes, the US and China dominate today, but Japan still has the potential to change the balance, especially in areas like industrial AI, human-robot interaction, and trusted, culturally sensitive models. Now, let's zoom out even more. Behind this AI race, there's another silent competition: electricity and resources. All these data centers we keep talking about, they drink power like there's no tomorrow. In the US alone, data centers already use about 4% of the country's total electricity, and that's expected to more than double by 2030. Some forecasts say US data center power demand could hit over 100 gigawatts by 2035, more than some entire countries. And it's not just energy. Analysts are warning about copper shortages because AI data centers require huge amounts of copper for wiring and power infrastructure. So when Washington and Beijing both say, we want AI supremacy, they're also saying, we're willing to reshape our electricity grids, our mining industries, even our climate policies to feed this machine. It's not hard to imagine a future where countries that can't afford this massive infrastructure, many in the global south, become more dependent on AI services controlled by a handful of powers. So where does Japan's potential fit into this bigger picture? Japan has a track record of doing something different, focusing on efficiency, robotics, and human-centric design. Instead of just chasing the biggest model or the largest data center, Japan could push AI that is smaller, but smarter in specific domains, like manufacturing, healthcare, or disaster response. Better integrated with robots, making AI something that moves in the physical world, not just on a screen. Culturally tuned, respecting privacy, social norms, and language in ways that giant global models sometimes ignore. Add to that its partnerships with the US and Europe, and you get a third path. Not America's AI versus China's AI, but a more balanced ecosystem where Japan and others can still shape standards, ethics, and real-world use. Of course, that's the optimistic version. There's also a darker possibility that all this talk about multipolar AI simply hides the fact that we're sliding into a global tech Cold War, with fragmented standards, competing propaganda systems, and AI tools used to control populations, not empower them. So let's ask the uncomfortable questions. If you live in the US or Europe, are you comfortable with a future where your digital life runs almost entirely on models owned by a few giant US corporations, even if that means your country wins the AI race? If you're watching from Asia, Africa, or Latin America, would you rather use American proprietary AI, Chinese open AI, or locally developed systems, even if they're smaller or slower, that better reflect your language and values? And about Japan, do you think it can realistically become a third force in this space, shaping how AI is used in industry and society? Or is it too late, with the US and China already too far ahead in money, data, and raw computing power? Finally, do we really want AI to be treated as a zero-sum weapon, something one side must dominate? Or should it be closer to a shared infrastructure, like the internet, with stronger rules, cooperation, and global governance? Tell me what you think in the comments. Is this race between the US and China inevitable? Or can countries like Japan
and maybe yours, still change the story. If this video helped you see the AI race from a different angle, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it so more people can join the conversation. The battle for AI supremacy is not just about codes and chips. It's about the kind of world